Here, not just the peace, but also the powers to change the reality, how we wanted, what we wanted, in the way we wanted. That Shakti also happens in us and is the ultimate gift that we can get from Paramashiva, being as Paramashiva. Let's experience the oneness with Paramashiva by going into the Shastra Pramana. Shastra Pramana are the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas and the Agamas. This is from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Vijnana, the consciousness, Bhairava, one who experiences consciousness beyond the mind, and Tantra is the method who experience the consciousness beyond the mind.
Explained the powerful cognition.
The Shastra Pramana for the power of consciousness over matter, silicon, is taken from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 120, Dharana 95. Kvachid vastuni vinyasya shanair-drishtim nivartayet tajnanam chitta sahitam devi shunyalayo bhavet. Kvachid vastuni vinyasya shanair-drishtim nivartayet tajnanam chitta sahitam devi shunyalayo bhavet.
Bhagavan Paramashiva says in the Dharana 95, Sutra 120, having fixed one's eyes on a particular object, Vastu, one should slowly withdraw from the sight of the object as well as slowly eliminate the knowledge of the object along with the thoughts and impression of it. One abides in Sunya, the state where there is nothing other than this exists, which is the state of all-inclusiveness or infinity. Each one of us can be in the consciousness, that is Paramashiva, infinite happening. That is the ultimate, that space Bhagavan is asking us to experience as our reality. That is already existing in our microcosm. Bhagavan beautifully says, what we perceive, all that is just a delusion. When we go beyond that, the higher reality, how we infinitely present and available as each of the consciousness vibrating in higher frequency as reality. When we understand the higher signs, the matured cognitions, we start dropping all the incompletion because of the higher understanding. How when a child is no more like there when it is an adult, the child is what the child possesses, the cognition is no longer available that in the same way the adult perceives it. We have matured cognitions that we function in different world, in a different way. Same way Bhagavan says, how you have the spiritual cognitions in a higher dimensions, we will start understanding the higher realities. Bhagavan gives the samyama for each one of us to understand the higher signs. When we are silent, more and more brain starts in the survival mode and more we start in the higher intelligence, tapping the extreme possibility in us to express ourselves into the world. Each of these greater signs that Bhagavan is giving us to understand that whatever knowledge we have about ourselves, whatever idea we carry about ourselves, whatever attitude that we carry, everything is just a delusion. There is something beyond that we can experience and we are experiencing in the microcosm, and we just need to realize that we are experiencing. How can it be more simpler than that? When Svetaketu went to his father and told he's finished his 12 years of studies, his father said, you did not learn anything. And he went back to his guru and said, my father says I'm not learned anything. What should I do? Then he goes to the cow shed. He says, go and take 4 cows and sit with it till it becomes 1,000 and come back. And ever comes, the thought comes, just do Neti. I am not that, I am not that. And he drops everything, including finally the cow comes and tells him that we have become 1,000, you have to go back to your guru. He has forgotten even counting, it says. And he goes to his guru, the guru blesses him. For us to become that space, Bhagavan is always available and always showering us. When do we become ready to receive that? The whole Mahabharata, Krishna was behind Arjuna when he'll be ready. Krishna was always ready, always waiting. But Arjuna was in his fantasies, in his delusions, depressions, all kinds of ups and downs, except for the receiving space. Finally, he surrenders when things get overboard, and then in the middle of the war, and many times the time was stopped in Mahabharata, and in the middle of the war he stops everything, freezes everything, and then he gives the whole science to Arjuna experienced the oneness and experienced the higher reality. Same thing was delivered at the same time by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. Nothing ever happened to Dhritarashtra because he was not in the receiving space. It is not that Guru is not there. He is always present for us. Only we have to be in the receiving space to experience the oneness with Paramashiva. For that, he is preparing us in multi-dimension, multiple possibilities for us to experience that oneness space of Paramashiva. Beautifully, the Apta Pramana, where the Mughal king meets first time Ramanuja, and he goes and takes all the deities and stores in some place, and Ramanuja is completely lost his deity. He goes and begs him for his deity, and Mughal king says, as long as your deity can walk to you, I am okay, thinking that is not going to happen. And Ramanuja simply called his deity, and his deity came to him absolutely when he called Chellapillai. In Tamil, it is like calling, dear my son. So when he called with deep love and reverence, and simply the deity walked to Ramanuja. The greatest science that was available for us to move mountains or move the deities were simply possible even as stone. When Kali did not eat, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa really made the food and fed Kali to eat, and even put her bangles, asking her to show the hand. The deity is made of stone and about 3 feet tall, but simply it listened to whatever Ramakrishna Paramahamsa wanted to say to the deity. The greatest sign was available and is available for all of us to experience beyond the consciousness, beyond the matter as consciousness. Bhagavan beautifully says how Arunagiri Yogeshwara made him experience that ultimate space of oneness and made him understand that it is just himself as Arunagiri Yogeshwara. Bhagavan beautifully narrates.
The being, using that powerful eyes, he was looking into me. Of course, that is too much. So naturally, sleep disappears. I'll describe the scene. The next word is Sami. That's the way he used to call me, because that is the way my whole family used to address. I had hundreds of names given and self-given. And it continues even now. But most used name is this Swami. Even my mother used to call me as Swami only. From the time I remember me, I never heard any other word from my mother. Even as a baby, as a child, I always heard only she calling me, addressing me as a Swami. Never I have heard from her the name my parents have given. It's only Swami. So, Arunagiri Yogeshwara uttered the word Swami. The moment he called, Swami sat up and the eye and eyes got locked. His eyes and my eyes got locked. He raised the right hand with a gesture. Are you able to raise your hand? So the meaning is, are you able to do what you want? It was not verbal. It was like a show. So naturally, I responded. Means I moved my hand And showed, yes, I can. Suddenly, onada. It just clicked, and I started laughing. He started laughing. Laughing. Both of us were laughing for 10 minutes. Understand? I'll tell you exactly what happened in me. When you have a consciousness which can command and execute something that is one with ultimate, so you are ultimate. There will be 100 questions, doubts you may have. All that we can digest, grind, burn next. But the first click, he's right. That first click was so powerful. The words uttered were only 2 words. Swami. Then he showed through the gestures, are you able to move the right hand? So I responded in the same way, gestures, not words. Yes, I can move. What is there? So just when this gesture, question, answer was going on, I could understand very clearly what he is trying to convey. If you have a consciousness which can command and make the matter, body is matter, make the matter obey, listen, you are carrying, which is ultimate. You are the consciousness which is ultimate. Like something hit on my forehead. It was such an ecstasy, blossoming, flowering.
Beautifully, Bhagavan shared how he experienced the oneness, how the devotees all around the world have experienced the consciousness over matter. Bhagavan has beautifully said how this great science how this great science manifested as reality in many, not only in the hand, but also they were able to experience much in the silicon and on the ground. The consciousness over matter is not just moving a coconut, but it's something that you experience. Bhagavan says when you bend your body, it is a matter. Then you are consciousness moving the matter and bending it. So you can bend the spoon also. The higher science removes all the incompletion that we are holding, how we exist as reality. Continuously, we are only the witnessing, perceiving only the matter. So we recognize only the matter. If we continuously recognize the consciousness, we will start experience consciousness. What we continuously cherish, that is what we become. We intentionally take up the matter and start believing that we are matter. So we start living as only materialistic world and trying to get pleasures from the materialist world, which is impossible. And we try to gain something from that world which is not even existing. How can you build a castle in your dream? It's not possible. Same way, Bhagavan says, when you drop that delusion, which is only creating more and more suffering, rather you start looking in the consciousness where you can create your reality as the ultimate reality, which exists in each one of us as the superconscious space, the pure space of oneness, we can start manifesting the higher signs. All the self-doubt, self-denial, and self-hatred, when dropped, all the differentiating notions, we can experience the higher reality. It is not just moving some coconut on your hand, but also moving all the incompletion, the root patterns, which is stopping us to create the abundance, the healing, the ultimate space that we can create otherwise. Here, beautifully, Bhagavan has given the guidelines. You can take the Jnananjan, apply on the coconut also, and the third eye and your temples. In Vellore is just built by showcasing this great power, just one power. And a school teacher had a conscious breakthrough, and he just was able to demonstrate to the world how he can move the coconut. And even today, just by that power, he has built a golden temple. He's a school teacher who goes on a cycle, and now he's a Reverend Amma. That is quite possible for us when we move something inside. It's not just moving a coconut, but something else inside us creates a huge completion. If you can move in others' hand, the relationship simply dissolves and you experience oneness with the other person and manifest Paramashiva space. All these greater truths that can happen in us when we start aligning to the higher consciousness. Let's now get a coconut or object which cannot roll over just like that, which is stable. And if you can experience the vibration or Kundalini Shakti, you've started manifesting the powers. If you can roll it over on your hand or other's hand or on a gadget. If you're using a gadget, please make sure the gadget is completely switched off, no vibration modes. And if you keep it on the ground, make sure there's no slope and it is very clear and a flat surface. And make a beautiful video and share it with the world how Paramashiva space in you can manifest any reality. Now let's get into the deep meditation. Let's sit straight with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Visualize Paramashiva, Parashakti, with all her 25 heads and 75 eyes and 50 hands. The more and more we are aware of what's going on and witness the awareness, who is that who's aware of everything, the more we are in consciousness. Completely start watching, who's making the decision, who's telling us what to do, who's that, who's behind all this which is happening. When we go on searching, we land up into the heart center where the Paramashiva manifests as the ultimate reality. And absolute unclutching from the outer world. No thinking is required even to run the whole cosmos, Bhagavan says. Why do you need thinking for your sessions? Just drop your thoughts, completely irrelevant and redundant. That is complete completion. Do the Tyaga of the thoughts. That is the real Tyaga. And Bhagavan is not looking anything other than for us to manifest. When Uddhava was asking Krishna what he can do, all Krishna said, everything, every object, every person, everything view as me, Krishna. You will experience oneness with me and manifest powers. When you have a shoe which fits in your leg, your leg is forgotten. If a hat fits in your head is forgotten. When you are in Ajaba Jaba, continuously holding that greatest space, you have forgotten your body and you merge into the Paramashiva space. That is what happens when you are in the high frequency and you start chanting the Mahavakya intensely. And let's entangle with Bhagavan continuously in the superconscious space and chant the Mahavakya for a few minutes and be in the oneness space of Paramashiva, surrendering every thought to Bhagavan's lotus feet and merging into Paramashiva, becoming Paramashiva and understanding he is the one and you are not even there. And he is the one who is manifesting even now, experiencing whatever you're going through. That is why there is nothing for us to do except experience him, why we came down, the ultimate gift of Paramashiva. So let's start experiencing consciousness over matter, chanting the Mahavakya intensely from our navel center.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva stir in burdens. Let the Amrita pour. Let the Varni open up. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Such a beautiful space. Open your eyes. If you have recorded or taken a picture, please save it till the end. We'll have one more cycle. Please surrender to Bhagwan's lotus feet. If you have manifested the power of moving the coconut out of your hand, then you can give it to others' hand, or you can keep it on the gadget or on the ground. Each of these great experiences, again and again, Bhagwan gives us for us to grow into the space of Paramashiva. How we experience the outer world when we get angry, lusty, hungry, when we are so much, the I comes out. And Bhagavan says, those times start looking in as Paramashiva, as the highest reality. You will start experiencing the oneness immediately, because those times your I is very, very clear who you are. And you can simply drop that to Bhagavan's lotus feet and experience that oneness with Paramashiva. Again and again, when you are in such a state, Bhagavan says, when you're in deep fear or in deep desire, and that wakes you up to the reality, like in your dream, some lion is chasing you, you wake up when you're really scared and you want to get out of that. Same way, in your delusion, you're pulled out of each delusion. Wake up. The delusions are not nothing but to create a scene so that you will wake up and understand, hey, it's not real, I've not lost it. And it is all available in a different dimensions. It is in a different possibilities. We think we miss out our money or our spouse or our kids or family member or some old things that we miss, but it does not have to be missed, because we are infinite, we are absolute, we are the creators of this reality. All that now science is trying to catch up to that extent, and I'm trying to understand how we are manifesting the reality. But who we are, if we first figure out, then we will know how we are manifesting. Our whole body, the microcosm, Bhagavan says, if you can make your body cool between your ribs, you can just bring in rain. All this science is known to us but forgotten. Now Bhagavan is rekindling us to make us understand that, hey, you know the science, start manifesting. All we have is the door inside us, which needs to be opened up for us to understand the higher reality. Now let's surrender everything to Bhagavan's lotus feet. Just be in the oneness with Paramashiva. Chant the Mahavakya with the listening. Mahavakya, what does it does? It replaces every thought that you have again with mantra, again with mantra. And mantra has no verbalization, no visualization. So what are you? You are nothing. You are in the consciousness. You are Paramashiva. Once the achapa, you start chanting with awareness and become a witness of that awareness. You start understanding that higher reality, that nothingness is the infinite space where you can cause any reality as you command. It'll happen. That science is what Bhagavan is teaching us. Even in the deep sleep is when your body gets regenerated, your memory gets stored, all the scientific, what happens actually in the deep sleep. Same way, the whole regeneration happens even for 5 minutes. If you sit with the deep meditation of chanting the Mahavakya and experiencing the consciousness over matter. Let's start chanting the Mahavakya to experience consciousness over matter.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
So beautiful. Please open your eyes. And whatever you have experienced, please go ahead and share it in tinyurl.com/powermanifestation. When you understand how much you are being showered, you will be in such a gratitude and you will be in such a bliss that you will go ahead, paint the whole town with what you have experienced. Please go ahead, even if it is just a coconut falling or hand or vibration in your hand, take a picture of it and post it in tinyurl.com/powermanifestation. More and more you enrich and cause. Integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching and causing. Enriching and causing is the only way when you start having the ultimate oneness with Paramashiva. It is so easy to experience the Paramashiva in person, but the Vairagya to have that space when you are in the oneness, even without his presence, in physical presence, that very space again and again starts getting bolted in you. How you are so soaked in your school or college as the school, your home, your country, or your gender. Same way, you get soaked in Paramashiva when you enrich and cause the world. Whatever you cherish is what you give to the world. You cherish all these greater signs, you will start experiencing a higher reality, a new reality, How Svetaketu, he was able to cherish Neti, 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 and finally he had no words to even talk. That beautiful space he cherished, and he became that. What we cherish most, we become that. More and more we start enriching and causing that whatever Paramashiva space we are constantly engaging in, we become that when we tell the world, make everything in the context of Paramashiva, so you can constantly cherish, enrich, and cause your reality. If you see a dollar sign at the end of the YouTube, go ahead and contribute. All your contribution is nothing but your Kailasha that you're building in your inner space, your heart. You becoming the receiving space for Paramashiva to land. When you build your castle in your heart, Paramashiva will simply land. All this greater science is given for us to create that pure space inside us. All we need to do is just surrender everything and just go on with the simple integrity and simple obedience. All this will become a reality in us. With that, let's surrender all the powerful cognition and power manifestation to Bhagwan's lotus feet. And with a deep gratitude and earning, I am Paramashiva, holding that as your eternal reality. And each one of you, thanking each one of you here, hundreds of you are manifesting the powers. Thank you so much being here to hold the space. And let's end with a deep gratitude and deep earning that I am Paramashiva. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Paduka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you so much and see you.